Hi, and thank you so much for joining me today for day 23 of Scraptember. And today's prompt is to use monochrome, so I've gone for pinks today because today is also Pinkfresh Friday. So on Pinkfresh Friday we use everything Pinkfresh to show our love of Pinkfresh products, and I really do love their products. So I went through my Pinkfresh stash and pulled out anything that I had that was pink. This paper is from Keeping It Real. And then the other bits are just scraps that I have left over from previous collections. So I'm going to do a vertical line down the middle, and this is to document a photo of my daughter and Leanne's daughter when we took them for a manicure and pedicure. It was Sophie's 11th birthday treat. We treated them both, and of course Leanne and I both had ours done as well. But it was a really fabulous day. The girls felt so grown up and it was great fun. So here I am just tearing some of the scraps of paper that I've got to create that vertical line down the middle. I'm going to stick those together and then, per usual, add some mixed media on the background. So I'm just getting the general idea of what I'm going to do here. I've fussy cut loads and loads of flowers from one of the Keeping It Real papers, and they are going to be the main embellishments that I use. So you can see them there. Just going to have a play and check that I'm happy with them, and then, as I say, I'll glue this all together and sort out my mixed media. Now, because the colours in my embellishments are quite rich pink, I wanted to keep the background nice and soft, so I'm going in with Tattered Rose, which is a peachy pink. I love this, and it just adds a tiny bit of something. Going in with a brush today, and I think looking at it, it may have still had a little bit of sage green on the brush because the pink is getting a little bit muddy, but it's fine. When it's all down, it looks beautiful and it doesn't have that muddy. It must have just been a teeny tiny bit of pigment left on the brush. So I'm not worried about it. So just making sure that I have my mixed media on either side of this stripe of paper that I'm going to use, checking that nothing's been left, and just going in and finishing off. I want to add a little bit more, and I want to add some splatters as well, so here we go with the splattering. And when I've done the splattering, I decide that I'm not happy with the splattering, and I shall go in with a piece of packaging paper and just soften those splatters by smushing them down. Here we go. And I really liked this, how this looks when I've done this. It really softens those splats and gives you some nice pooling effect with the ink. Just making sure that everything's really smushed down. And once that's dry, I'm going in with the same ink and with the Home Sewn Stitches stamp from Pinkfresh Studio. I've chosen one of the round ones to just add some stamped areas to this mixed media background. You don't see much of them, they just peek out from behind everything once the layout's all done. But it just adds a nice bit of definition. And then I'm going to come in with this double stitched row, I suppose, of stitching, and add that to both of the smaller strips of paper on the left and on the right. But I'll do this top one and then think really I should stick it all down before I carry on because it's overlapped onto the cardstock and I don't want it to move and look odd. So I'm inking that up, but then I shall use my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and glue all this down. It's not going anywhere. It's obvious from the mixed media where I want this strip to go, so there was no need to wait any longer to stick that down. And just adding a bit to the other pieces just to make sure that they're well stuck. And then I shall go in with that stamp and stamp on the darker pink. Now it doesn't show up very well because obviously that is a darker pink, but again it's just adding a tiny bit of something to the layout, and it overlaps down the bottom of that paper as well and onto that circle stitch. So now just working out the placement and then I will go in and add some tissue paper behind those photos as a mat. There we go, here's the tissue paper. So just gluing that down onto the tissue with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and then once those are both cut out, I shall use my Stix 225mm foam pads to raise these up, just so that I can tuck all the ephemera that I'm going to use behind the photos, and it gives them prominence on the layout. And you will have seen there that once again, I thought I knew which corner I wasn't to put the foam pad on, because these photos are overlapping, and once again I got it wrong. So I just tore it up, put it in the correct position, and then used some wet adhesive to stick that down. Now this little chipboard piece is one that I've created from two separate chipboard pieces, because they had pink and something else on, so I've glued them together to create another chevron. And then these are all the floral bits that I've cut from that Keeping It Real paper, and they're just gorgeous. The leaves are from The Best Day, one of the papers there. I've used them before. So I just sat on the sofa and had a fun hour or so just cutting and watching some YouTube videos. I do love hand cutting, and it really stretches your stash when you do this. You create your own embellishments. So just scattering those flowers all around, checking that I'm happy with the balance. Some butterflies as well that I cut out from a piece of paper. I love those leaves. I think they really add something when you've got flowers. If you can find a nice leaf to go with them, it really finishes them off. So just playing, like I say, playing with placement, checking that I'm happy with everything. And then I'll go in with some of the other bits that I've found. So this is a chipboard piece, and it says "This is truly epic," and I like that to put underneath that. I'm not using a title on this layout, so I suppose you could call that the title. Just tucking it under there. Again, just playing around with the placement. I do faff an awful lot, seeing if there's anything else. That was a tiny little leaf that I cut out. A few more bits down the bottom there. And it's important to keep standing back and checking that you're happy with the placement before you finally glue them down, which is what I'm doing now. And now those are all glued down, I'm just going to go through the other bits and pieces of pink that I pulled out from my Pinkfresh box. And this is an epoxy sticker that just says "Take Note." and it ends up there next to that photo of the girls. And then there's another one on that sheet with an ampersand, and I just pop that underneath the nail photo there. Just a bit more pink and a bit more dimension, different texture, and I just like the way it looks on the layout. Looking at the chipboard to see if there's anything. You can see those chevrons at the bottom. That was the one that I amalgamated the two pieces from. Just looking to see what else I can find before going in with these puffy sequins. I try to go large to small, so I was going in with the larger bits first of all and then saving these till the end. There are a few different pinks on here, so I'm just scattering them about the layout. Again, making sure that the balance is right for me. And when I've finished with those puffies, I'll go with the enamel dots. These were from the In the Mix collection that Pinkfresh did a good few years ago. They were great staples that they brought out. I really enjoyed these. So just again choosing the different pinks that I've got on this sheet and just scattering them about the place, using different sizes as well. Just checking that I'm happy with the mix that I've chosen. And now the bulk of it's done, I'm going to go in with my journaling. So I had a few lines here and then a few lines the bottom left underneath the photo of the girls' nails, and just add my journaling about the day. So at the top it says, as a treat for Sophie's 11th birthday, we took you both for a manicure and pedicure. You felt so grown up. And then the bit at the bottom left says, naturally, Leanne and I couldn't be left out, so had ours done too. I love documenting things like this because you kind of remember, but it's nice to have it in the album so that you can remember what age they were and things, really, because they really were quite young. But oh gosh, they really did enjoy it. Amelia had ghosts put on her nails because it was close to Halloween, and Sophie had beautiful, like a navy blue with white polka dots. So proper nail art girls. So just adding the date here now to that tab that I put at the top of the... It says Tuesday, you can see it above the chipboard. It's going to go above the photo of the girls. So I'm just stamping onto white cardstock using that Tattered Rose ink pad again, and then sticking that over the word Tuesday. It's a great way to use up ephemera which has either pictures or words that you're not happy with. You just cover them up, repurpose them, use them for something else. So I don't know why I thought I wanted to put the tab on this chipboard piece because it didn't look right. So just trying a few different places before realising it needs to sit at the top. I think I didn't really want to cover those flowers at the top, but it was fine once it was in. So just adding a couple more of my hand cut florals to the bottom piece here because it looked a little bit empty. It had some enamel dots and the puffy sequins, but it just needed a little bit more to balance it all out. And once that's down, I shall be going in with my Heidi Swap Gold Colour Shine Mist to just add some splatters all around the layout. And that's it done. So this layout, as I say, is for Pinkfresh Fridays and for Scraptember 2022. Day 23. Please do check the description box down below to see everybody else who's joining in on both these hops. There'll be a list of the ladies and gents doing the Pinkfresh Friday, and then there's a playlist for Scraptember 2022. As you can see, I'm just using some of my my Nouveau crystal drops here as well, just to add a little bit more definition in bubblegum pink. And here come the splatters. So as I say, thank you so much for joining me, and I shall see you tomorrow for the next prompt for Scraptember. Thanks so much. Bye.